Assalamu alaikum and hello. Thank you very much, Dr. Eddie, Dr. Nabila, Dr. Zul, your whole team to organize this event. I can see very good response from the participants from all over the world. I have my own Facebook, LinkedIn fan, so I can see many requests there. Many are already entered. So basically, thank you for your presence, attendance. As you know, I have some good experience being an academician for last 23 years. I feel this need to be shared with our early career researchers, young researcher, prolific researcher, since some of the experiences are, I guess, maybe unique as I work University of Malaya most of my time, where I built my strong research foundation, and then I also worked some time in King Fahd University, Saudi Arabia. Now for the last 5 years, I'm working at Saidur University. So I have some diverse experience, supervisions of students publishing in good quality journals. So basically, these are the things I feel it is important to share with our young generation, young researcher, early career researcher who sometimes face a lot of difficulties because they are not experienced, they have not gone through these processes. Okay, so basically I will be sharing here today one aspect. As you know, publication is a long process, lengthy process, a lot of things involved, so it may not be possible to share each and everything, but at least how to write impactful, good quality journal papers that can be published in high quality journal that may give some good impact, particularly citation impact. So this is one academic aspect I'm going to highlight in my presentation. So as you know, the topic is on writing high impact journal papers. So I'll be focusing on this. What is high impact? I'll try to define, I'll try to explore some of the documents, content, so that you understand the meaning of high impact, and particularly main focus will be basically how to write quality articles that can be published in very good journals. I'm from Research Center for Nanomaterials and Energy Technology. This is the center I'm leading, I'm heading, and also this is under the School of Engineering Technology, Saidur University. So let me introduce briefly our university. This is a private university, but growing, progressing very well in terms of research academic progress. As you can see, there are almost 20 research centers and institutes. So this is the reason I joined this university after spending time in and King Fahd University. So overall, it's a conducive environment and good environment for research. I'll share some of our unique things as well for future collaboration very briefly. We also have some good recognition. Also, as you can see, it is a nice, well-integrated place. So when you have opportunities, please come and visit. And most importantly, you can enroll for master's, PhD, and for research purposes. Okay, and also as you can see, we are progressing in ranking as well. Okay, so let me start with actually what is the meaning of high impact, and this is particularly I'm going to focus on academic aspect, academic impact of our scholarly research work publication. So how can we define impact? Okay, because title is high impact, and these are the word, these are the buzzword basically in the academic life. I have been hearing, maybe you are also hearing all this word, high impact journal, high impact paper. So what does this mean? Please mute, please. In this academic impact, basically high impact or impact is defined by one key point that is called citation. Okay, more your papers are cited, you published in good quality journal. Basically, an indicator is by citation. Okay, basically high impact indicates that your paper, your journal, your works are cited by others where you publish. Basically, we published in journal, so it is reflected it is measured by impact factor of that journal. So that is basically in a keyword. Actually, it's the reflection of your works citation, or in a simple term, I would say that this is the usefulness indicator. How other people will cite, acknowledge your work, meaning that it is useful in scientific discoveries. In many ways, it is useful. So that's why they use your paper, they cite your paper. That is defined as one of the component because the impact factor is, as you can see here, is defined by A by B, for example, here. So numerator and denominator. So basically, for last 2 years, for example, in 2019, 2020, how many papers published in a specific journal and how many times cited. Okay, so more the number of citations, normally number of publications is restricted or limited, but citations can be unlimited because it depends on users. Okay, so bigger the factor, it is better. So basically, this is where the higher the impact factor, I will define also, define with ranking, top-notch journal to give you an impression of this, what is the meaning of high impact. Okay. So here, today's focus is academic impact, scholarly impact, scholarly assessment of our publications work. But as a researcher, I'm sure that particularly for young researcher, early career researcher, PhD students, master students, junior academicians, junior lecturers, senior lecturers, they also should focus on other aspects like impact that can give societal, economic, industrial, environmental. So all those should not be taken lightly. I mean, they also should have proper plan, long-term plan, career goal also, how all those impact also can be contributed in our academic life, in our career life. Okay, so it's not only researchers should not focus only high impact journal papers. They should supervise students. They should bring grants. They should publish, they should give talk seminars like what I'm sharing here, and many other aspects. So should have balanced activities in research, publications, as well as teaching. So this is, I brought this, this slide to actually inspire you, to motivate you, so that you understand in journals there are various categories of journal. So one of the categories, we call it top-notch journal. These are the highest rank, highest impact, and extremely difficult and close to impossible in this area. But I tried to present all this information here so that you can do breakthrough research, you can be a prolific researcher, you can have a dream, and you can try. Okay, because nobody knows. At least I'm trying to create an awareness among you so that you also can try in this top-notch journal. You see the impact factor is extremely high. Number one, you see 508 point something. So these are some of the listed journal I brought here. You can find more in your specific area. This also gives an impression that these are very broad, and also some specific areas, topics, as you can see, cancer, medicine, and also you see some journals are reviewed. So this gives an impression also what types of area, what types of topics, what types of journal also has high impact, top notch. And also, as you can see, science, nature, these are quite broader, So this is where we can try, we can have our dream so that, we can publish in these top notch journals as well. Now, if we want to understand impact, we need to understand the ranking. So Scopus also can make ranking. ISI Web of Science also can make ranking. We need to understand basically these are quartile, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So I will define, I will give you some examples. So let's say in a specific area, I'm working in the field of energy and fuels. So there are, let's say, 100 journals. Among the 100 journals, based on impact factor, top 25% is defined as a Q1, and then remaining top 50% is Q2, and then so on. So this is how rankings are defined. So of course, the higher ranking is better. Q1, Q2 is normally preferable, but it does not mean that we cannot publish in Q3, Q4, or even journals, seminars. We should try professionally, ethically in all other journals. I mean, those are the ways, those are the stair through which we can improve ourselves. Because quality publication needs a lot of effort, experience, good team, funding, impressive lab. So in some cases, maybe you may not have all those things. So it does not mean that you cannot publish in lower quality. So that's basically the way, that's basically the training through which by publishing in seminar, workshop, Q3, Q4 conferences, you train yourself, start collaboration, and then you raise your bar slowly. Okay. This slide is important. Normally, these are not shared by researchers, scientists, but normally this is important things in addition to quartile, because we are working in a specific area. For example, as I mentioned, I'm working in the area of energy and fuel. Somebody may be in the finance, somebody may be in the material. So there are 21 broad field in ISI Web of Science. So in a specific field, because I cannot be expert in finance. Okay, I cannot be expert in mathematics. I can develop my expertise in the area of energy and fuels. Okay, so this is one specific area among the 21 subcategories according to ISI Web of Science. So in that category, we can be ranked. Okay, we can be top 1%, top 2%. So I see the UPM every month they publish something in through their research management, top 1%, top 10% of their public journal, ranked journal. I think it's a good motivation to encourage, to motivate also some of the staff. And when I was University of Malaya, they also gave some incentive. They also gave some citation award, particularly those who published in top 10% or Q1 journals. So that's why the ranking is important for you to understand. It may help you, it may promote you in different ways. So this is where I tried to show you ranking and its importance. So one journal, as you can see, Progress in Energy and Combustion Science, its impact factor is 29.3. So I'm trying to make its ranking. As you can see, it has 4 subcategories. I mean, 4 expertise area. So it published paper in the area of thermodynamics, energy and fuels, chemical engineering, and mechanical engineering. So in the area of thermodynamics, there are 60 journals, total 60 journals. This is how journals are ranked, and I mean, Q1, Q2 also defined. As you can see, this is number 1 in the area of thermodynamics out of 60 journals. So even the impact factor is not like Science and Nature, but you are among the top 1%, among the top journals in your specific field, for example, in thermodynamics or in the mechanical engineering. Okay, so this is where these types of analysis may help us, young researcher. If you published in these types of top ranked journal, maybe you can highlight during your PhD viva, during your interview for research fellow or junior lecturer, or maybe during your promotion from senior lecturer to associate professor, because these are the area where we are expert. Okay, so we can highlight. So this is another important area in addition to Q1 and Q2. So this ranking also, maybe early career researcher need to learn, need to analyze their journal publications also before submission, after submission also. So this is basically one specific reason I'm going to share here. And also in the energy and fuels, there are 103 journals. So you see the same journals has different categories and number of total journals. Okay, you see it's not same. So it depends on your specific area. So in the area of energy and fuels, there are 103 journals, and among them, this is number 3. So rank 3. So again, it is also prestigious, rank also quite high. In the area of chemical engineering, it is ranked 2 out of 138 journals. Okay, in the mechanical engineering, there are 129 journals, and this is again ranked 1. Okay, so in most cases, as you can see, it is top ranked journal in the area of thermodynamics, energy, fuels, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering. So I am a mechanical engineer, energy heat transfer, so I'm presenting here. It does not mean that you cannot do your analysis using Web of Science. Basically, you can do this rank, but you need JCR journal citation report and also essential science indicator in Web of Science. This is where you may not have access. This is the reason also you need to collaborate with the researcher who have access. Like UPM has JCR, Web of Science, but they don't have essential science indicators because that one is need sometimes a huge amount to invest by the university. So when I was University of Malaya, they spend 13 million every year for their all databases. That's why I think the research collaboration is important. Your friends, your colleagues, your collaborators may help you to do these types of analysis. So this is the way to analyze. So there are other journals also, energy, applied energy in your specific area. I understand maybe there are non-science from social science. As I mentioned, there are 21 categories. So your categories also there. You can find number of journals and you can see where is the ranking of your journal. Maybe after publication also you can highlight if it is top ranked journal. Okay. So since time is limited, I'm not going so much about this slide. Okay. So as I started with the initial slide, that actually what should be our purpose. Okay. Purpose is not only citation or impact. So there might be, I mean, our long-term goal should be contributing to the science, innovation, commercialization, product development, up to certain level of technology readiness level. So that's why one of the slide I will link, and few slides basically I'll be talking about the linking our research to the innovation. So we should not think only citation. I specifically highlight that citation is just a partial reflection of our contribution. It is not everything, but it is also important, as you can see, as an academician, for ranking purpose, for many other purposes, it is important, but it is not everything. It is just partial reflection of our contribution, our impact. So there are other impacts also need to be considered. For example, I'm giving a talk here today. I can see there are more than 150 participants. So if they are benefited from this engagement, from this seminar, from this talk, so this also should be counted as an impact. Okay. So basically, research publication should have purpose to build innovative mind, young mind, so that they can be innovative, they can develop product, they can solve the industrial problem, local problem, country's problem, niche area, and so on. Okay. And these are also academic growth training, because by publication we know how to write a good quality paper. This also will help us to write a good thesis, write a good proposal. That may also help us to get funding. So it has many other benefits. By publication, actually we are training ourselves. I published so many papers basically that help me to be more matured, seasoned in writing. That's why today I can share, I can give a talk in front of you to share with you, because I have gone through that process for last 23 years by publishing, let's say, more than 500 papers, and it has gone through review process of, let's say, 500 times 2 or 3. So how many reviewer commented in our papers? Basically, that helped us, that gave us a good training. So similarly, I would say this is a good training. And this is the reason I think the universities are now implementing, most of the universities implementing, you need to publish to get your PhD and masters. I strongly support that, because this helps you to be a better researcher, good researcher. It will help you to be innovative researcher, and particularly it will help you to write your writing skills necessary for your thesis writing, for your paper writing, for your proposal writing, for your industrial project report writing. So it has immense benefit, many purposes. Of course, all over the world, we know now the visibilities, ranking, these are the buzzwords we all are familiar, and we are working with the university, and these are their, one of the reasons citation has 30% weightage in ranking. So this is the reason also, I think, funding agencies, universities, providing funds so that, there can be some impact, they can support, those can be support for universities' mission and vision, particularly visibility, reputation, ranking, quality. So whatever all these things are, even though ranking has pros and cons, but in my view, if there are quality aspects, if this helps to improve the quality, I support all those things. Of course, there are some pros and cons challenges, but in my view, those which are good things, we need to support, and those need to be improved, So let me quickly go through some slides about the definition of innovation. So in a simple way, according to Thomas Edison, there is a way to do it better. So in innovation, basically, in simply a term, if we can do something differently, something innovatively, something new, it can be marginal, it can be breakthrough, and so on. So this is how we can define it as a innovation. So this is, I have taken from a source. As you can see, it is something new, something different, something better, something cheaper, so on. Okay. So this slide I want to share with you because purpose is this seminar is not only for the purpose of writing good quality paper. Purpose is actually that in the long term, you can win any types of, whether it is thesis, whether it is proposal, whether it is a paper. Okay, as you have seen, there are top-notch journals, there are Q1 journal, there are rank 1 journals. Okay, those about the journals. But at the same time also, when you are going to apply and you are going to be an entrepreneur, okay, you are going to lead university, you are going to lead a company. So you need to be a highly innovative researcher. For example, you know the Elon Musk. So he is the ear of the person. Okay, he is so innovative. So similarly, we can be innovative. We can do innovative work. So that is how it is defined. So I think these are the term came by Academy of Science Malaysia. One of our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Mahindran, also wrote some strategic document that is 1010 My STIE, where he explained this wow factor is basically will help you to be a world-class researcher, innovator, entrepreneur, and so on. So that's why I brought this term wow. Actually is basically winnable, outstanding, worldwide. So if your proposal, if your paper, if your thesis is with this wow factor, I'm sure that you will be a world-class researcher. Idea is to actually implement this wow factor, even the small matter, before doing anything. You try to think whether wow factor is implemented in your paper, in your thesis, in your project, whether it is undergraduate project, master's project, and let's say you are trying to commercialize something. Is it wow factor? Is it something? And this basically will win each and every one. Okay, it is winnable, it is outstanding, it is worldwide. So this factor will help you to be actually the world-class researcher, and basically you can find big funding, major funding. It is not an easy, but if you practice so slowly, you can improve, you can be better, and you can be outstanding as well. So these are some of the examples of, as you can see, some innovation. I mean, the wow factor is applied here. As you know, some of the vaccines has been invented. Some of the other invention I just given as an examples here. Okay, so to address, to understand the wow factor. So I strongly recommend, suggest all of you to be aware of these things, to address these things. Even it is a small matter, even conference paper also, try to address this, try to ask yourself whether any element of wow factor is there. This basically will solve your solve our local problem, global problem, niche areas, and many, many other things. Because our main purpose of doing research is to solve the societal problem, our daily life problem. Okay, so if we address, implement this wow factor, I think that will make us world-class, I mean, all-rounder, balanced researcher. Okay, so in addition with the, I think that's why I think you need to do some homework, what the MIT is doing in your specific area, what Harvard is doing, what universities Malaya's rank 1 area is doing, what is the specific niche area of UPM, for example. They are very strong at agricultural area. So who are the top researchers, what they are doing, where they are publishing, where they commercialize. So I think those are the model also you can follow. So those are called the global grand challenges, where I think before doing your, I mean, its impact, as I mentioned, citation impact is dependent on many, many factors. As you have seen, breakthrough, I think if you address this wow factor in your paper, I think that will be highly cited. And similarly, also as I highlighted here, I mean, to make impact, I think you need to do homework, you need to find suitable title, suitable areas. So need basically some homework to come out with this wow factor. Okay, so this is our Sano University's practice. Any proposal need to address this wow factor, whether this is 10,000 Malaysian ringgit, 30,000. So every project basically need to come out with this wow factor. Okay, I think this 1010 My STI also in Malaysian, all the funding, particularly in FRGS, I can see all those policies also you need to implement. Okay, so time is not enough, so I just gave you some flavor about the wow factor. Okay, so whatever research we are doing, I think we need to think long term. We need to make a long term plan also, so that slowly from our basic research, I mean from TRL bottom, we can move to the progressive way. As you can see, the highest level of technology readiness level is 9. That basically you can commercialize your product, you can develop your spin-off company, and so on. So we should have long-term plan. Of course, it is not an easy, because we do fundamental work. So to make fundamental work into translatable, more technology readiness level, more higher level, we also need funding. We also need to work with the industry. So there are challenges, but idea is to work closely with all the entities, with all the authorities. At least we should have our long-term goal also, so that our projects are good, our topics are good. It is wow factor, and slowly we need to push also the funding agency, concerned authorities also, to convince them that our works are important. So we need also support. Okay, so this is the idea. Main idea is also so that you can put your effort. I mean, long-term goal also should be there, so that our works, our publication can be converted, can be translated into some tangible outcomes, commercialized product, solve industrial problem. So why we need to publish, as you know, as I highlighted, to get your PhD degree, to get your master degree, like in Malaysian scenario, in good universities, basically 2 journal publications, 1 Scopus or ISI index papers need to be published. But to me, as I mentioned, this is a good training. As I publish, so I train myself. So now I can write good proposal. I can give training like this. I can write good papers. So basically it is helping, because this is a writing process, and also a lot of innovation involves. Publication is also not an easy task. So as you will see later on, to get funding also, they will be looking for, funding agency will be looking for our H-index citations, how many relevant papers. This also shows that whether they are funding to the right people or not. Okay, get promoted. So I'll share in one of the slide also. Okay, so again, through this publication, we can constantly generate new ideas. That's what I highlighted. Students also very clever, smart. They also will be looking for our profile, CV, whether we are really qualified to train them, to give them guidance, to help them to get their degrees, and so on. This also helps students to build their confidence. So based on my experience, so when I was in University of Malaya, I supervised constantly number of good quality students. So when they managed to publish papers in Q1 journals, so I can see how confident they become once they published 1 or 2 papers in high quality journal. Okay, so this also helps to create a network. More we publish, many people will invite us to be joint author, collaborators. This also will help us to sustain our research. And here I would like to share some of the unique things. As I told you, I joined the University of Malaya in 1997 after my graduation. At that time, I only had CGPA degree, undergraduate degree with CGPA 3.22. Okay, after so many years, so many experiences, you see. So now I constantly, as you can see, I'm also visiting professor at UPM. I'm also professor at Lancaster University. I was also invited by invitation, got offered as a chair professor in King Fahd University. And now regularly, I also got invitation from many other universities. In addition, I also evaluate many proposals, theses from all over the world. And these are basically a strong recognitions. Okay, I'm a small man, but when somebody from overseas, from top universities, international universities, international research funding invite me, this gives me an impression that, you know, they are giving us some recognition. In addition, also there are financial benefits when we, because also human being. When I was in University of Malaya, for every Q1 paper, they gave 6,000 Malaysian ringgit, and somebody can claim up to 50,000 Malaysian ringgit. Okay, so there are side benefit, there are recognition, and many things as I mentioned with you. So definitely, when you are prolific researcher, you are in this area, this will drive you, this will motivate you, this will give you a strong recognition as well. And I'll share some of my recognition as well here. So this is, I think, the important thing. If you know actually the weightage, why you need to publish in good quality journal. As you can see here, publication has weightages from the assistant professor to professor 30 to 40%. Okay, so basically supervision is also under publication, research consultancy. Actually, research publication has quite heavy weightage. Okay, so for early career researcher, that's why you need to very strong plan, good plan from the very beginning. Okay, particularly this is one aspect. I mean, if you manage to publish good quality paper, there are possibilities that you can work with top people, top universities, good universities. Okay, so for your academic promotion, as you can see, weightage is quite heavy. So as I was constantly or quite heavily busy with research publication, that was the focus because of the team. As a result, I also got promotion quite earlier. So by teaching only, you cannot progress much. Okay, yeah, I can tell you definitely, as you can see, teaching element is only a very minor percentage. Okay, with that, you cannot be prolific researcher. Of course, it is important for your overall promotion, and particularly the excellence is teaching also important for your overall growth and promotion. But heavy weightage, high weightage is research and publication. As you can see in ranking also, quite heavy weightage in publication, Q1, Q2 journals, citations, and so on. So these are some of my recognition to encourage you, to motivate you. As I told you, I came with an empty hand with a simple degree from my home country, and I spent my time in University of Malaya, most of my time, and this is where I developed my strong research foundation, at least some good foundation in research. And as a result, as you can see, I got 4 consecutive years citation award in University of Malaya. This is University of Malaya's internal award. Again, these are the award for motivating the staff so that they can work hard. So I was glad that they gave me this award for 4 consecutive years. They invited us in a specific event, and they also gave University of Malaya also gave 10,000 Malaysian ringgit with the certificate as well. So this basically drives us, motivate us to work hard. So as you can see, for last 8 years since 2014, Alhamdulillah, I'm getting this prestigious award, highly cited award. Lancaster University also published, Sano University also published, and the Malaysian Higher Education, Ministry of Higher Education also arranged this event in collaboration with Claribet. So I'm glad that for last 8 years, I'm getting this award. Alhamdulillah, thanks God. So again, as you can see, the Ministry of Higher Education also recognized all the highly cited researcher award in Malaysia. It started from 2014. At that time, there were 3 or 4 highly cited researchers in Malaysia. I was one of them, and then now getting more every year. Okay, so I also got Sano University's Vice Chancellor Research Award in 2019. Okay, so they also gave some funding as well to conduct research. Again, as you can see, how the university motivate their staff. So they are top 2% scientists. They put in front of lift all the staff. So this also motivate us. I think when you will work hard, you will be prolific researcher. You will contribute for your university, society. Definitely, you will be rewarded. Okay, so as you can see, there are immense benefit. There are huge motivation if you work hard. If you are a prolific researcher, contribute in science in different ways. So this basically will help you to grow you also. Okay, so there are many other reasons also we need to publish. Now I'm moving into the actually how to write. Okay, motivation is important, where to publish, how to publish. Okay, so now this will be quite more technical areas. Basically, my experience I'll be sharing here. This is something you are looking for, particularly the technical aspects. Actually, this content also will help you. That paper will be used by others, will be cited by others. So mainly I will be sharing how to write good titles, abstract, introduction, and the major component of your paper, research paper. So title is actually important because this is the first thing researcher, other people will be reading. So that's why it should be catchy, it should be attractive, it should be free of jargon. Okay, so if somebody feels that, particularly if I am a researcher, when I see a new title and it is a catchy and it is interesting, basically this entices me to go through the whole paper. And as a result, I will be reading the paper. I will try to understand the paper. And finally, if I feel that this is a good paper, quality paper, and I am going to cite it. Okay, so the title is basically important aspect to entice the potential readers, potential researcher to go through your paper, to read your paper, so that at the end it will be used by them, it will be cited by them. Okay, so some homework actually need to be done here. Basically, it's not that simple, but if you know how to write a good title, I think this will help you also to be to make your title catchy and effective. So some of my experiences I'll be sharing here. So title of the manuscript should be short, relevant. Again, as you can see, highlighted short. So it should not be too long, should not contain too much mathematical jargon, and also should be relevant. So I'll give you some guideline that also will help you to make it short and relevant to the subject matter. Attract readers' attention. So if anyone, even non-science or non-expert background also, if read the title, if they feel that this is catchy, probably this will attract. So that's why I think that it should be attractive. It should be appealing in such a way. So I'll share some of the points. Be specific, not too general. And particularly, there should not be mathematical jargon, abbreviations in the title. This basically distract potential readers to read the title, to go through the whole papers, because mathematical jargon, all those points are only understood by who prepared it. For example, a mathematician, for example, a chemist. But there are other researchers, and this might be beneficial for other researchers, other people also. So to attract that, it is better to avoid mathematical jargons and abbreviations. So I will give some specific guideline to make it like that. So what I do to avoid all those challenges, all those problems, I gave this guideline to my team members, collaborators, and students. So because someone is working in that topic for 2, 3, 4, 5 months, so he or she knows the overall content. So how to bring the overall content with the keyword. So since we are working in this area, so I'll be asking my students to come out with 8 to 10 keywords. Of course, there will be some strong, there will be some weak. Again, there is no hard and fast rule actually. These are just based on our assumptions. And also when we read the paper, we study the literature, we see some of the keywords are coming again and again. Okay, these are based on our perception. We feel that these keywords are strong, these are weak. Okay, so weak keywords are eliminated. Maybe we maintain 4 or 5 strong keyword, and then we join them. We write a draft title, 3 titles. Normally, I ask my students to come out with 3 titles. Since I am also engaged with them, so I know the overall what should be the overall content. Basically, after consultation with them, sorry, after discussion with them, several times, we come out with the final one title after looking at their 2 or 3 titles. So this way basically helps to make a better title. And normally editors, reviewers, examiners cannot make so much noise about the title. Okay. So when based on my experience as an examiner, as a supervisor, as a reviewer, I can see that titles are sometimes too long. Okay, so it will not be catchy. It's not attractive, it is not appealing, contains mathematical jargon. Sometimes it's too general, too specific, and particularly does not reflect the content. Actually, to avoid that it is not within the content, if you bring the actually keyword, then certainly I can assure that your title will reflect the content. So this is an example. Okay, by giving an example, will give you a good impression also how to write a good title. Okay, so as you can see, thermal energy conversion, this is in my area, but this one anyone can understand. There is no mathematical jargon. It is also not too long. So this is in my area. So when I saw the title, it gave me an impression. It looks very innovative. It looks very attractive. So I went and I read the paper. Okay, and there are some word limit, maybe not more than 12 to 15 words in a title to avoid lengthy title. Okay, so there is another title also. So when you are reading in your area, so you'll find some long title, some short title. So that also will help you. Probably some of the word you can borrow from the titles in the literature. I think that's why the study literature, doing homework is very important, in addition to the guidelines I'm giving you here. Okay, with this, I hope you can write a better title that will be catchy, attractive, free of mathematical jargon, and so on. At least better title. Okay, so now I am moving to the next component. Is called the abstract. Is basically summary of your work, what you have done. What readers did, what you have done, and important findings. Again, it should be short and precise. So that's why there are some word limits when you are going to submit in specific journals. In online, actually, it will restrict you. If there are 150 words, you cannot cross that. If you cross, so it will not allow. So you have to limit. So that's why from the very beginning, I think you should follow the author's guideline also. Should contain the details, experimental procedure and analysis. Should not contain. So details of experimental should be in the specific section. I will give you some guideline here. And basically, this should contain some significant results and major findings. So what are the challenges or major problem by scientific community, or particularly the young researcher? Sometimes I feel that it is not structured. I'll show you why it is not structured and how you can make it structured and not balanced. Contain emotive terms such as huge, significant. So we are scientists, we are researcher. Our content should be true facts, okay? Specific value, not like huge, significant. These are statistical terms and exact value we don't know. So that's why I gave a specific example. In our case, we write rather than this huge, significant, we specifically write, this is an example, highest thermal conductivity enhancement is found to be 64%. Okay, this is specific figure. We did not highlight here that thermal conductivity improves significantly or immensely or hugely. No, it is very specific value. Okay, specific value, numerical value, kilowatt hour, temperatures. Okay, with as much specific as possible, as you can see here. So this is what is called, don't put the emotive terms. No major findings. Sometimes abstract should contain major findings, but there is no major findings like here. You see, this is one of the major findings. Is not there, so then definitely this is not a good abstract. So this basically will help you to write a structured, balanced abstract. As you can see, abstract should contain some of the components. So it should contain background information, it should contain objectives, methods, results, conclusion. That's why I say it is the summary of your whole paper. So few sentences you brought from the background, that is in your introduction part. So as you can see, 1 or 2 sentences. Bring it from the introduction part, that is called the background informations. Okay. Then objectives, 1 or 2 sentences. Method, 1 or 2 sentences. Results has been put more. Results, conclusions, findings. So key results, major contents are there. So this will make your paper structured. Structure means that background, objectives, methods are there. You are not missing. So when I was doing this research, actually nobody taught me these things. Okay, as a result, my abstract was not strong. I suffered. That's why I got a lot of comments from the reviewers, even examiners, for my abstract also. Now I know, so that's why now I can give you training, and so that I think with this training, definitely your abstract will be better, stronger. Okay, and not balance is meaning that sometimes maybe your abstract only contain full of background information. You did not focus much on results and finding, or it is too much about the methods. Okay, so that's what I say. It should be balanced and structured. Okay. So with this, I hope you can write a better abstract. So this is I have taken from, I think some journal practice these things, but some journal don't practice because some are well experienced, they know. But particularly those who are young, how they will know that what should be the content of the abstract. Okay, so this will be definitely good for young researcher, those who really does not know how can I write a good abstract, how it will be written in a structured and balanced way. I hope with this you can write now better abstract. So main paper is actually basically is defined by Imrat to remember easily. So main component is basically I stands for introduction, M stands for method, R stands for results, and A stands for N and discussion. These are the major component. Of course, abstract and conclusions are not considered because they are not the major component. So this is for you to make it well organized to remember easily. Okay, it's not major matter, it's not big matter. So now is the introduction part. Actually is the main purpose why this work is important. brief statement for the need for the investigation, review of up-to-date literature with specific objectives. And most importantly, this section should highlight the originality, uniqueness, novelty. As you have seen, ranking of the journal is basically is reflected with this originality. So you can publish in good quality journal, high ranked journal, top ranked journal, high ranked journal if your originalities, novelties are very strong. So that's why you need to spend time to do homework, to identify novelty, to study literature, to work with the team members, collaborators. You need to do really a good homework to design your project that will be innovative, at least some component of wow factor. Okay, then you will not be go back, like as you have seen, we always try to focus in top ranking journals. So that's why we could publish in a number of good quality journals, as you have seen in my profile. Okay, so I'll be a little bit faster because it's close to 12. So I hope a little bit more time can be spent, because it takes time for quality seminar talks. Okay. So again, I put it in a structured format. As you can see, it will be useful, good for young researcher if you put in a structured way. So what are the major components of introduction part should be? Basically, there should have some paragraph on background and motivational information. There should be objectives and scopes. It can be a paragraph, it can be a bullet form, problem statement, research questions, novelties through proper literature surveys, latest relevant references should be there. Of course, you have to talk something where your work will be applied. It is very important. In some cases, maybe we do some fundamental works, maybe we don't address application, but it might be useful, at least try to link, try to highlight that application part will be there. In our, this is the one reason also we managed to publish in good quality journals in applied energy, applied thermal engineering, energy conversion and management, because without application, it is hard to publish in good quality journals, particularly in our area. So that's why application is important, and you need to highlight where this will be applied. So sometimes for young researcher, you don't know how to write a good introduction. So that's why it becomes too long, 8 pages, 10 pages. So I think it should not be more than 2 single space pages. Okay. Too general does not reflect content. I think that's why sometimes the keyword, you ask yourself whether contents are really within your whatever you are doing or not. No objectives. Objectives are not clear, achievable, measurable. So in the next slide, I'll show you how to write very good, smart objectives. Okay, novelty is not highlighted. So sometimes novelties are there, but you fail to amplify, you fail to highlight it properly, appropriately. As you have seen, top ranking journals are basically based on your strong novelties, of course, any other component. But this is first thing is checked by editors, reviewers. Based on my experience, actually, one of the aspects is the scope. The other most important element is the novelty. Higher the novelty, stronger the novelty, actually, you can easily go through the review process. Of course, there are latest relevant references, as I mentioned. So how to write smart objectives? There are many other definitions as well. So I think it should be very specific, measurable, attainable, result-oriented, timely. So you are doing work for 3 months, so don't make it a PhD projects. So it should be specific, measurable, attainable, result-oriented, timely. So I hope with this, you can make your research objectives smart. Okay. This is another way also to make your objectives up to, because we are doing scientific research, PhD thesis, even undergraduate also. So it should have sufficient breadth and depth. Okay, as you can see at the left-hand side, the knowledge, this is very low level. So a paper that can be published in high impact journal, actually you never can publish by only by defining, identifying and listing. So this is how it address your level and depth, whether it is PhD work, whether it is your project proposal, Q1 journal, or you want to address the wow factor. Basically, you need to bring this higher level of Bloom's taxonomy or educational pedagogy. Okay, so these are, for example, evaluation, synthesis, analysis. So you see, when you develop a model, you validate your model, you compare your model. Okay, you experimentally analyze something, you experimentally conducted some experiment. Okay, so these will reflect your objectives in breadth and depth. Okay, so keyword is basically how you can address the breadth and depth, and that will be linked with your strong novelties and wow factor. Okay, so if you write all of your objectives like define, identify, I'm sure that your thesis will not go through. You will not get a good comments. You'll get very poor comments, negative remarks. So if you address like evaluation, synthesis, I mean higher level of this, that is strong depth and breadth, definitely your paper will be published in high ranking journals. Okay, so these are some of the guidelines that will help you to write good objectives, smart objectives, also in line with the originality, novelties, and with the wow factor as well. This is again how to write good objectives. I'm giving you very specific examples. Start with the action bar to analyze, as you have seen, this is higher level of Bloom's taxonomy. To develop a mathematical model, this is both depth and breadth is basically there. To validate is also not an easy task. So basically these are complex, complicated. So in engineering, outcome-based education, we know we need to address some of the complex problem. So basically by addressing this higher level of Bloom's taxonomy, we are actually addressing the complex engineering problems. Okay, so for example, here to develop a mathematical model, it is not an easy task to develop a new model. Even to modify also, to validation is not an easy thing. You have to develop a model, you have to do experiments, you have to compare with the literature and so on. So basically, it will be very complex problem, complex research, complex thesis, complex paper that basically will address your wow factor and very strong novelties. Addressing originality is very important. Without this, actually, it will be very hard to publish in good quality journal. So it can be high through that. Basically, you can publish in Science, Nature, Q1 journals, or even rank 1 journal in your specific field. It can be none, it can be useful, but never mind, because research is a long way. Okay, so you need to go through long processes. So you can publish them in seminars, conference, Q3, Q4, and if there are comments, you address them, you improve them. Don't get disheartened. Okay, you have to be persistent, you have to be steadfast to be a good researcher. Okay, never give up. That's the keyword. Read the literature from all databases. So that's why the complete databases. Otherwise, reviewer will say that your literature study is not complete. So that's why the collaboration is also important, where you don't have access of the databases, but students also smart. They also know how to get the literatures as well. Scrutinize more relevant papers. Read introduction part. Normally in the introduction part, it is highlighted what has been done and what has not been done. And also particularly in the review paper, actually, there is a specific section that gives a specific direction, what has not been done, future direction or prospective. So that basically review paper of that component, that part basically will help you to identify your novelty. So that's why sometimes review paper give a good guideline to develop a new proposal, new paper, because a lot of new things which are not addressed, which can be done, is highlighted actually in the one section of the review paper, that is in the future directions. Ask, discuss with your supervisors, collaborators to make it stronger, to make it in a better way. Okay, so this is how sometimes the researcher just simply write one liner, one sentence that there is only limited literature, there is only limited work. Again, with this limited term or limited literature, you cannot convince the editors and reviewers. This is one example, as you have seen, through the critical review of literature, study of literature from references 20 to 23, 28, 29. Actually, a research gap has been identified. This is called systematic review of literatures. Okay, so meaning that my team has gone through this literatures, and through this proper systematic review of literature, they have come out with this novelties. There are 3 novelties, as you can see. This is strong, very systematic way, 3 novelties. Okay, with this basically reviewer allowed us to go through the review process, and at the end we published in good quality journal. So don't exaggerate, don't also limit yourself. Sometimes researchers fail to amplify, to write their novelties appropriately. I mean, it is not strong enough. Okay, so this is the way to identify, and then you need to identify through proper literature survey, and then also you need to amplify. you need to tell what you have done as strong as possible, as much as possible, not one liner, one sentence. That will kill your paper to go through review process. So this is another way. I like this way. Okay. So there are many. This is also called the critical review of literature. So many references are studied, many other parameter studies. But as you can see, this has been highlighted that there are some deficiencies in the literatures. Okay. These are highlighted. And from this, you see there are 4 or 5 novelties has been highlighted. And maybe we can highlight, you can say that, yes, my paper, our work will address 1 or 2 of the novelties. Okay. So this becomes very clear. You have studied the literature, you have identified what are the research gaps, and these are some of the novelties which have not been addressed in the literature, and now my paper will address these things. I'm sure, I can assure that your paper will go through review process, as long as other contents are good and it can be published in good quality journal. So this is how to address originality. The scope also very important. Nowadays, you know, the 90% paper rejected due to a scope because of huge submission, you know. Editors now trying to find a ways how to reject it. So they will say that it is not within the scope, even within the scope. So that's why it is always better to make as strong as possible. So that's why at the very beginning, read the scope of the journal, design your project accordingly from the very beginning. So you want to publish at least within this domain, within this area, heat transfer, energy, materials, banking, finance, and so on. So you try to design accordingly so that it is within the very strong scope of your work or of the journal. Address the novelty here also as strongly. So both novelty and scope should be written in a cover letter very well manner, in a very strongly. Most importantly, this is our practice, and this should be the everyone's practice actually. You should keep the alternatives of your journals in your pocket. I mean, in your deposit box. There should be other list of. So that's why I think the Scopus ISI Web of Science. Okay, so you put the keyword there as I have identified the ranking of the journals, impact factor of the journals. So through that, basically you can put some keyword and you can find alternative list of journals which are Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Basically, you need alternative list of journals. So it will be rejected in A, B, C, and D, and it will be accepted in F. So in one case, our paper were rejected in 7 journals, 7 times. So it was accepted in A. That's why we need to be steadfast. We need to be bear patience also. And particularly, you need to have a lot of alternatives. So this is how. So using Scopus Web of Science, discuss with your friends. Also, when you write a paper in the reference list, you see there are many journal lists. So you try step by step, one by one another. Okay. So there is no, straight cut or magic answer. Again, this is trial and error. So critical review of literature, I think I have addressed. I will not go through much. Maybe in the future, as I have to work with the UPM, I have some activities, so I'll be more than happy to deliver another lecture on writing a high impact or good quality review paper. Its importance also. I'll be more than happy maybe after 1 month. So there will be some more activities, more presentation. Okay, so one of them will be the critical review of literature. Since time is approaching, okay, so I'll try to finish by within next 10 minutes. Hope this is okay. Okay, so these are examples of critical review of literatures. Okay, so my lectures also I will give you, and some also you can find in YouTube. Okay, so this is important. I think the organization of your organizations, coherency, flow of your materials. So normally early career researcher, young researcher, they put wherever they like their content. So as you can see, there are title, there are objectives. So if you develop this way, it will be well organized, coherent. Structure of your manuscript will be very, very good. So you have seen how to write a good title. Once you have a title, of course, you have the research question, problem statement, and you write the objectives. And I have shown you how to write good objectives, smart objectives with breadth and depth. And then once you have objectives, basically you need to design your methodology. Okay, so again, methodology should be designed, developed in relation with the objective, with all the objectives. So if you write this way, actually, you see, you have 3 objectives, and you also have the necessary methodologies to achieve that objectives. Okay, and then once you have the methods to produce the data, you can present your data also accordingly. In an properly manner, well-ordered manner. Okay, so this is called the organization. So if you follow this way, this will help you to write your paper well organized, coherent, structured. So writing a comprehensive methodology. So basically, there can be analytical work, theoretical work, computational work. So each and every details should be presented here. For example, you are doing NCs, trances, fluent. So it's each and every details, its purpose, parameters, boundary conditions. So each and every details should be here in this part. So work also can be experimental. This is also one of the in the scientific work, medical science, engineering. Basically, a lot of works is done by experimental process. So here details of experimental procedures, sample preparations, accuracy, calibration of the equipments, why you are using this equipment, design of experiment, optimizations, steps, procedures, schematic diagram. Each and every details of the experimental work should be provided here, again, in relation with the objectives. This is where the non-science related work, social science, where they don't have experimental work, but they may have this work. For example, the interviews, focus group, video, text. So these are basically defined called qualitative, quantitative, mixed mood method research framework. Through that, basically, you are going to generate data for non-science, social science, arts. Okay, so you need to go each and every details. You need to present each and every details, which are qualitative in nature, quantitative in nature, mixed mood in method. I'm not in that area, as you have seen. I'm in science background, so I'm more on computational, numerical, experimental. So you can read some relevant, good quality model paper that basically will help you, guide you to write your methodology part in non-science, social science related areas. This is another important aspects of your scientific publication. If you do the statistical analysis, error analysis, sensitivity analysis, so your acceptability of your paper will be stronger, better, because the statistical analysis will tell you how robust, how strong your data, your experimental analysis are. Okay, how less error are there. Okay, tolerances are very, very less. Okay, so error analysis will reflect that robustness, strength of your analysis, your experimental work, your analysis. So that's why the statistical analysis is important. Then this is the reason we study these courses. I mean, instrumentation in our undergraduate study, statistical subject, statistical analysis, and instrumentation particularly to analyze the accuracy, error, tolerance, and so on. Okay, so that subject help us also to analyze this error analysis. So revise that content and also work with the collaborators. So now is the most important part is basically the result and discussion section. Okay, so here basically you need to critically analyze your results. If there are modeling, you need to validate them. If there are simulation work, because there might have some uncertainties. So quality of your figures also should be very good. It should not be like that. You cannot attract potential readers if quality is poor and faded. So this is again, rather than presenting this way, you can present all in a combined, concise way. This is the compact way. This is the scientific practice. This is the summary, basically, my experience based on my experience. As you can see, one of the important things is the reasoning phenomena, just not 1 or 2 line sentences. So as strong as possible, you write the reasoning phenomena with a schematic diagram, with some, let's say, the characterization. If somebody is working in the area of materials, maybe using SEM, TM, FISM, HR, TM, try to link what phenomena is linked with your theoretical aspect or analytical aspect. Highlight the originality, validation, comparison. So these are always very good aspects, strong aspects of your strong analysis. Error statistical, which I mentioned, don't put contradictory statement. This is normally early career researchers face difficulties, or when they are at rushing condition, rushing mode, sometimes in some cases they say it is increasing, sometimes it is decreasing. This happens when you are at rushing mode, you are trying to submit as quickly as possible. So it should not be like that. So that's why I think they also need to go through supervisors, collaborators, other authors, and so on. You need to go through first draft, second draft, third draft to identify all these contradictory statements. No redundancy, meaning that sometimes same data is presented both in tables and figures. It should be either tables and figures. That reflects the best. No methodology part should not be here because methodology part is separately provided there. So no mixed up methodology and result and discussions. Good quality and figures, as I mentioned. Present what should be past and what should be last. Hierarchy, you follow the coherency and so on. So conclusion is basically achievement of your objectives. So you have objectives. Now you have to highlight that your objectives are achieved. Your findings are achieved. So basically strong findings. Conclusions are achievement of your objective must tally with the objective. So you see how many objectives are there, whether all are achieved. So it can be bullet form, it can be paragraph form, depending on the reviewers, examiners, and so on. So so much discussion should not be here also. Okay. So you need to be steadfast, you need to work collaboratively and so on. So I don't have much time, just we are working in this area. Those who want to collaborate in the area of nanomaterials, energy storage, heat transfer, solar energy. We have very impressive lab. We welcome to collaborate with us. Okay, so you can send me email for collaboration purpose. This is our impressive lab. We built it by spending 5 million Malaysian ringgit, which is equivalent to 1.5 million US dollar. Welcome. We are open for collaboration. So some of your research problems can be solved. We know that sometimes early career researchers face difficulties due to materials, consumables, expertise, and particularly lab facilities. So we can help you. We also have a new PhD program, very popular. Okay, you can join this program. Sometimes there are scholarship, sometimes maybe tuition fees are waived, but I think if you invest also, there will be huge return on your investment. Okay, you can find me in YouTube. So some of the contents are already there. I am active in LinkedIn, Facebook. Through this, I think I can see many of my fans are here. Okay, so they join here. So time to time, I share some of the tips, guidelines also there. Okay, so you can get that benefit free of charge. Okay, this is again, I am obliged. I feel happy also to share. This is also, I feel my responsibilities to train, to share my experience with young researcher, early career researcher. Okay, you can find the necessary things are there. Okay, thank you very much. So you take note down my email address. Those who want to communicate with me, okay, that will be good. You can find me also in LinkedIn. Facebook is limited. As you know, the friend list is only up to 5,000, but LinkedIn has more. But most importantly, you can send email. So I can respond at my convenient time. Okay, with that, I would like to stop my presentation. Thank you very much. Okay, so now let's listen participants' questions. I'll try my best to answer their questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor. So anyone who have question, just please unmute yourself and ask directly to Professor Saidur. Anyone? In the chat room also.
Assalamualaikum. I've got a question. In fact, I put it on the chat function, but I'll ask it here now anyway. Okay. Prof, if you have a choice of publishing in a high impact factor journal, but it's not directly relevant compared to a relatively lower impact factor journal, but then it's more directly relevant, it'll serve the community better. So it's more like an ethical question. Do you publish in a high impact journal factor, in a high impact factor journal because you get promotion, or should you serve the community and publish in an appropriate journal which will help the community better?
Thank you very much. That is, I think, very interesting question. As you know, we are serving different societies, different purposes. So nobody actually will stop us to publish, to serve the community. Actually, what is our intention? Some people like to contribute to the society. They have outstanding work. They never publish maybe in Q1 journals, Q2 journals. Maybe they have patented, or maybe rather they are serving the society. Again, actually, sometimes maybe it is our I mean, what is the meaning of life? Sometimes I feel happy rather than publishing. Nowadays, you see that I don't focus so much about the only high impact papers. I focus on other things also. Okay, this depends on the needs of the university. It's our personal needs. It's needs on the society and many, many other ways. So I give you some good examples. So if you feel happy that you are going to serve the society, in that case, it is a low impact journal. Yes, please go ahead, if that is your purpose. But if you are working in the area that your university is pushing so much for ranking, reputation, and other purpose, I think at the same time, you have to be careful with your job. You have to be careful with the university, because university is also paying us. So this is where is my stance. Okay, I will take care of the university's research publication. At the same time, if I like to contribute to the society, like now, regularly I am giving lecture. This also needs a lot of time to prepare, to share experiences. So, but I feel more than happy, and this is also our university also appreciate. Okay, when we contribute to the society, doing something other than publication also. This is also giving the due credit in our KPI, in our weightage. So I can claim that things also. So this also in both way I can contribute in lower impact or in the society, meaning that, you know, I am also publishing in conference in Q3, Q4, and which are not Q1 as well. So it's up to us. But at the same time, we also need to understand where the university's mission and vision, because we are working for them. I give you some good examples. I give one example. You see that some papers published in Science and Nature is not cited at all, zero citation. Whereas some papers published in Q3 journals, Q4 journals cited 1,000 times. So what does it mean? It is giving you the answer of your question that, you know, I published in Q4, but it is used by many people, whereas the paper in Science and Nature is not cited at all. So it depends on us. If it is serving your right audience, please go ahead with that. Okay, I hope that answer your question.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I am Venkatesh from India. Sir, sometimes when I send a paper to a journal, at the editorial board, they will give a statement that sorry that your paper is not able to meet the top 10% quality standards of our journal, so we are not able to process further. So what does that mean by the top 10% quality standard? That's what told by some journals.
Okay, I got the point. Yeah. It's not only you face this question. As I mentioned, we have published so many papers, and we also face this question. And basically, I don't like these types of question. You know, I grow, you know, since 1997. You know, the paper, sometimes even though it is not very high quality, but it has gone through the review process. And at the end, even the paper is rejected. And my first paper, I got 14 pages of comments, but it basically helped me to be a better researcher, to address the comments. And I got really constructive feedbacks and comments. But in this case, you know, like Science, Nature, and many journals are giving these types of blank statement. Is basically, I'm very much unhappy with these types of comments, because it is not helping us to improve. These are just simply, you know, trying to reject our papers. If it would go through review process, even the harsh comments, even though rejected, I would be more than happy. And this should be the purpose, basically. I mean, if reviewer gives a comments rather than it's not within top 10%, because editors are also limited by being a biased and by saying that it is not within top 10%, it is not within that standard. Actually, is giving some restriction. I also doubt that whether this is right answer or not. I really don't appreciate these comments. I really don't like these comments. But we have to understand that they are trying to find some ways to reject our papers, because there are huge submission. And also this is a burden to us also. We are academician, we are reviewer. So these are some way they are trying to screen it. As you know, in research publication, it is also not perfect. Again, through this, probably they are giving a message that try some other journals. As I mentioned, you have more alternative list of journals. It does not mean that it will not be accepted. As I mentioned, my paper is rejected 7 times, but in 8 times it is accepted. So maybe they are giving a message also that try some other relevant journals, maybe address or improve further. Maybe it is not within the scope. It is not that strong. So even though it is not a very strong way, as I mentioned, I really don't like it because particularly I'm not getting the feedback. That will not help me to improve further. And what is actually the main problem in the critical way of critical or constructive comments, that has not been done. So in my view, we have to bear with this because editors are the decision maker. We cannot go, there is no any way to go against them. You cannot go court rather than maybe COOP, Committee on Publication Ethics, you can raise, but it will take very long time. Even we complain to the editor-in-chief, it takes very, very long time. 2 months back, we made some complaint, but still we don't have answer. You know, I'm as a senior person, I wrote it to the editor-in-chief, still no answer. But in some cases, we also get some answer. So I think this is the one of the challenges. So answer is that you have to find alternatives and you have to accept that. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, Teminto.
Yeah, please.
Please.
Hello.
Short question.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Good morning. Please, I want to know the view of the presenter on predatory journals. Some high impact journals, will papers be rejected on the basis that some of the citations in the journals are from predatory journals, in high impact journals? That if an author should cite some predatory journal for submission in high impact journal, will those papers be rejected?
Sorry, I could not listen carefully. Maybe you can communicate by email, yeah, to give them, because there are many other. Okay, so you can communicate by email. I can answer your questions.
It's a very important question. Can I just say it again, please? That if works from predatory journal is cited for high impact journal submission, will paper be rejected on that basis?
Okay, yeah, I got the point. You know, predatory something, it is a questionable, it is a quality aspect. So when you read it, the predatory journal, so it is already a question mark. So we are talking about the high quality journal. That one has less questions. Predatory, as you know, its purpose may be different. It's not to improve the science. It's not to contributing to the science. So since there is already something questionable, I would strongly encourage not to go through with that predatory journals. To cite, to use them, because this will again make a question. Whereas you have other alternatives. For example, you have other resources. So why you need to go to this predatory? So if anything is a suspicious, anything questionable, try to avoid that. Try to find solid sources, solid things. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe last oral question from the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Maz.
Yes, thank you very much. Prof, this is a wonderful presentation, and we really appreciate your knowledge you share with us. May Almighty Allah continue to uplift you in terms of knowledge, and may we continue to benefit from the experience you have. By the way, you really impacted a lot of things in us concerning publication and what have you. But then I have a question. You made mention of how we can calculate, how impact factor can be calculated, and it is well clear and I understood. But then the issue of ranking, this issue of ranking, I'm not too clear about it, how journals are being ranked 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%. So I want a little highlight on, I want you to share more light on this, please.
Okay, yeah, I got, yeah, because that is very intricate analysis. Normally nobody shows. And if I would show you by, you know, going into that ISI Web of Science, that will make it very clear. So actually library, and as a student, you need to do these types of analysis. So since I serve the community, I serve the student, that's why I did my analysis. Normally, these are not shared. I don't have much time to discuss actually that point to make it clear. It would not be possible. So in a summary, I tell you, see, so let's say you are working in the area of nanomaterials or in the field of energy. In the field of energy, there are 100 journals. there are 100 journals. Out of that 100 journals, you can categorize top 25%, top 50%, top 75%, and top 100%. This is basically purely based on total number of journals in that specific category. In Web of Science, they define there are 21 categories. So one of the categories is energy and fuels. Another category is maybe finance. So let's say in the finance, there are 150 journals. So you published a paper in a journal B, and its impact factor is 15. And that impact factor is within top 25%. That is Q1. And then among that 130, if it is rank 1, this is number 1 journal in that field. If it is rank 2, it is number 2 in that journal. Okay. So I only can share up to this level. Okay. So I suggest you do some homework. You collaborate with some people who have access. Maybe your friend, you ask them, can you go into deeper? Okay. And I at least shed some lights that will help you to go into more and more deeper, because we have very limited time. And as a student, as a researcher also, you should have some responsibilities also to do your own analysis homework. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I think the explanation is very clear. No.
Thank you very much. Maybe Prof, we can end our session. So for those who have any burning question, maybe you can directly email to the Prof. So Professor, you don't mind if there are applicant, the participant who want to email you, Professor Saidur?
Yeah, it is welcome. I will reply.
Okay. So I think thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for your joining us in this very informative webinar. And thank you very much, Professor Saidur, for spending time with us. We really appreciate it. We have such a good number of audience today, and we hope we can maintain the spirit to do research more. Okay, I'm sure that they have benefited tremendously from your talk just now. Okay, thank you very much. We can meet again in our next seminar, department seminar soon. Okay, thank you very much, Prof.
Okay,
so
thank you.
Maybe we can have 1 minute photo session. So can you just open the video? Okay, 1 minute. Okay. Okay. First page. Okay, next, second page. Okay, third page. And the final one. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Okay, see you again.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Prof. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you very much, all participants, organizers. Okay, keep in touch through social media. You can send
Thank you
email.
so much, Prof.
I'll be more than happy to serve you as much as I can, despite my busy schedule. Okay, assalamualaikum and hello. Thank you. See you later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you again.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you.